a home invasion, my neighbour was asked for the keys to his vintage Porsche. Miraculously, he had the presence of mind to ask a simple question of the intruder. Perhaps being a retired surgeon meant he was used to performing under pressure. Here's what he asked. Do you know how to drive a manual? No. The intruder didn't know how to drive a manual, so had to make do with stealing their VW instead. Sometimes friction is your friend. We often think of friction, anything that slows us down or makes something harder, as a bad thing. And as a general rule, we should aim to reduce unproductive friction to make things easier for our customers. But in some contexts, adding friction protects value. Two-factor authentication is friction, but it keeps our data secure. Cooling off periods delay decisions, but they prevent impulse purchases. Harder to access savings accounts make it more likely we'll leave money untouched. Friction isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it means your customer gets to keep what they value. There's a scene in Hitch where Will Smith is teaching his matchmaking client how to kiss. The secret, he says, is to
go 90% of the way and then hold.
For how long?
As long as it takes for her to come the other 10.
Okay, 90-10. Got it.
When influencing behaviour, there comes a point where we have to let them come towards whatever we are suggesting they do. If they don't, we're forcing change rather than influencing it. And when we force our idea or our approach on someone, they're likely to resent or reject it. Instead, by leaving a gap and putting control in their hands, their behaviour ends up being their choice and their decision. It's no longer your idea, it's theirs. There's a big problem with most change management initiatives. They assume awareness is necessary, that people need to be aware of why and what to change in order to do it. But that's not the case. In fact, people can be aware of the need for change but still not act. Take health behaviours or climate change or work habits like procrastination, for example. Added to this, even if you manage to motivate them initially, habits, emotions, friction can easily erode their desire to change. But can you change without conscious awareness? Yes. For example, eating healthier because healthier food is placed in line of sight and easy reach. Turning off a light switch because it's designed to look irritatingly asymmetrical when switched on. And writing more succinct reports because the template now limits the number of characters you can include. Rather than seeing awareness as a prerequisite, we should recognise that change can also be instigated and maintained at an unconscious level. Awareness is neither necessary nor sufficient to change behaviour. Designing for non-conscious cues as well will vastly improve the odds your change initiative will actually initiate change. Reverse graffiti is a street art technique that uses a high-pressure hose instead of spray paint to create images. By removing dirt and grime rather than adding paint, the artist reveals a temporary silhouette. The contrast between clean and dirty does all the work. Nothing new is added. It's all about subtraction. Behavioural influence can work in the same way. We often assume we need to add things to shift behaviour, more messages, more incentives, more initiatives. But sometimes it's about removing what's in the way. Friction, noise, clutter, confusion. Whether it's a customer struggling to complete a purchase or a colleague unsure how to act on feedback, clarity can come from subtraction. Instead of assuming you and they need to do more to change behaviour, doing less might be the answer.